As gamers, we ask developers to make bold moves when creating video games, whether it's reinvigorating an existing franchise to completely fabricating a new IP. We enjoy the spice added to existing franchises, but nothing grasps a gamer like a new and exciting idea. Catherine takes a big step forward in the right direction, by not only introducing an original idea, but by tackling narrative themes not often explored in video games. Few developers take such leaps of faith, but with narrative-based games becoming more popular, does Catherine inspire, or does Catherine crumble?
No, it's okay, I'll be right there. Yeah.
Catherine is filled with creativity. The menu foreshadows how unconventional and interesting it is. Catherine draws you in with its tale within a tale setup, where the foxy Midnight Venice, Trisha, hosts the Golden Playhouse story of the night. Vincent Brooks, who has been in a relationship with his girlfriend Catherine, with a K, for 5 years, and the relationship is at a point where Catherine is looking for more, but Vincent is uncertain about his life. After introducing you to the man of the night, you are thrown into actual gameplay. This is where Catherine becomes more than just a tale of a man unsure of his current relationship status. In time, rumors of mysterious deaths, curses, and odd dreams arise. You as the player begin to make the connections, but our man Vincent and everyone else involved are oblivious or in denial. The last piece of the puzzle comes by the name of Catherine, with the C, who comes into Vincent's life during a late night of drinking. Forgetful in his actions, he does the unexpected and cheats with this perfect woman. Vincent's world gets turned upside down as his nightmares become more involved as you struggle to keep your infidelity with Catherine from Catherine. Within the real world and the nightmares, Catherine grips the player as you converse with those around you, whether it's sheep in your nightmares or the fellow patrons of the stray sheep in real life. Vincent isn't the only one with troubles though, as Catherine encourages players to talk and listen to those around. Talking and listening is key to figuring out what's going on, and the approach taken is rewarding, until you get to the end. The plot becomes so absurd that many will be upset with the excruciating crawl to the finale. Catherine's conclusion is overly expository and suffers from such a deficiency in subtlety that it comes off as patronizing.
What the heck? Why is this locked? Unchain this door!
Sure, but hold on a second.
Catherine's gameplay is unorthodox indeed. With its focus on narrative, the gameplay takes a backseat at times. Catherine's actual gameplay is a puzzle-based descent to the top of a tower of blocks. Controls are responsive and easy to pick up, and are devoid of unnecessary flourishes and gimmicks. The Nightmare Realm is inhabited by sheep, who in reality are men much like yourself. Among them you will learn useful techniques to reach the next landing/checkpoint. You must push, pull, and climb blocks as quickly as possible before the floor below you collapses, and build a multiplier to achieve the highest score. The faster the better. Pillows grant retries, coins increase your score, and one-use items are found among the stairs or purchasable through merchants. These come in handy in tight spots, but choose wisely as you could only carry one at a time. Unlike many puzzle games, Catherine is a fast-paced affair. Spending too long on your next move will only result in failure. The later stages become fierce, with unmovable, spiked, iced, and cracked blocks littering the playing field. It's no walk in the park, as these impedances will push your patience and skills tremendously, particularly the boss encounters, which pose the mightiest of threats. Pro tip: if a puzzle becomes too trying, take a step back and leave the game for a bit, as it's the best way to solve it. What bothered me the most was the retry system implemented. In a game of trial and error, deaths come by often, and the idea of having a limited supply of retries is out of place. I mean, yes, you could farm, but should that be necessary in this kind of game? Out in the real world, gameplay isn't necessarily gameplay. You mingle with your friends and other customers of the stray sheep, and receive and respond to text and picture messages. At the lower right side of the screen is a meter that monitors Vincent's choices. Questioning your morals, the inner dialogue of Vincent changes. Similar to Alice's Persona games, where you mingle at school by day and fight demons at night. There is a lot of substance available within Catherine. It's only a matter of having the patience to pony up the time.
This is the fourth question. Do you consider yourself a pervert? Be honest now.
Catherine's cel-shaded in-game art and anime-style cutscenes are nice. In-game characters look great, and the amount of expressions do enough to display emotion. Appropriately, bosses are nightmarish with some twisted dark designs. Environments don't fare so well, since the 5 or so locations are visited repeatedly and the puzzle areas are generally bland. Catherine's technical demands are not boundary pushing, so the fact that you spend so much time leering at the load screens is ridiculous. Catherine's soundtrack has some enjoyable and sassy tunes that complement the tone and theme of the game. The only downside comes from listening to the same tracks over and over again between deaths. It certainly doesn't help when you're already agitated by the tougher puzzles. Voice acting has its ups and downs, with some horrendous dialogue combined with the archetypical roles ripped from almost any anime show. But if you know the developer's background, it shouldn't come as a shock.
Never knew Erica had some trauma like that in her past, but I'll fill every hole in her heart.
I'll fill every hole in her heart.
Hey, I'm serious here, don't make fun of me.
Despite its strong introduction, Catherine's attempt to be clever falls short with a botched conclusion that can sour the overall experience. Developer Atlas does a great job of setting up the narrative, but fails to keep the same momentum throughout, losing focus of what draws players in. By not allowing the players to figure things out on their own, Catherine takes one of the most valuable components of storytelling away, and ultimately demonstrates the same amount of nuance and subtleties as a Michael Bay film. The last act drags on forever and will have you begging for the credit screen. You will either love or loathe Catherine's many endings. The twisted conclusion will disappoint some and impress others. Being such a unique game, Catherine is worth a playthrough. For all its shortcomings, it's never guilty of retreading tired gameplay themes. There are no substitutes or alternatives, so happy climbing.